Atop the Devil's Head stands a tower, a lookout built on a great stone face, lording over a half-burnt kingdom of grit and needles. It's unmistakable, that blade of rock rising from the earth, jutted like teeth in the color of poisoned ivory. It climbs over the ramparts, the apex of the range, its very center. You can see it for miles. That solitary thing places you below, down there in that labyrinth of dirt, where you can't see nothing at all, just the bit of road right in front of you, never where it leads. I wanted out. I thought I might find it in that high tower, above all else, where the ground falls away. You almost escape it. There, the stone devil will give you his eyes. He'll give you anything, every road to everything. But none of it ever seems to be yours. Distance is a peculiar thing. The familiar can seem so immediate, tactile and real. The buildings, the streets, the stones, all of them I knew. It's like looking backwards on time I'd spent. 50 miles all around. Maybe I belonged here. Looking ahead into strange and foreign places, the image is so material. Just a quantity of things, hollow and far away. Like unresolved steps in a plan, or faces without names. But when you lack something you need to reach your destination, it could never seem further. Unless you don't know what it is. I'd built myself on apprehension, living each day before it comes. Collecting dead things, objects, tools, and trivia, to one day give them life, purpose, like a brush waiting for an artist's hand. It's easy to get lost in that. I remember the feeling as I built my bike. With each piece I added power, utility, function, and capability, pushing back some distant limitation, like it was mine, like I was the one who was better. A painter can only be as good as their brush, but even the best brush won't make you an artist. It's something you have to earn. Until then, it's just a costume. Standing still, I had the look of an adventurer, but I revealed myself each time I moved. I could articulate the function of every component, detail the bike's mechanics, how it'd move, and all the things it could do in the right hands. But that reality was so far from me. I was no adventurer, just a presumptive fool, an insult on an elegant machine. She fought my every motion, constantly reminding me of what I'd lacked. So here I was, to pay for things I already had. I never liked this place. It had nothing I wanted, no scenery, no spectacle, no beauty. It was a kind of in-between, the leftover hills surrounded by flanking basins. Around it were greener things, grander things, desirable things. All it had was dirt. What else for it, then? There's a satisfaction to training, to being better. Through preparation, the road becomes more certain. The end feels closer. Potential breeds entitlement to all the roads you could take, to the ones you might take. As though they're already yours. Like climbing upwards, you feel that sense of superiority. Just one move, and you could get anywhere. If you just move. But it's all so insincere, vain, hollow. It's hubris that made the devil fall.
Ow! Damn it.
Hit the ground, and you'll learn two things. Exactly where the ground is, and the value of being grounded. gentle reminder for careless men. A broken hand and a broken brush crippled a painter just the same. Take enough from a man, and he's the one that breaks. All those plans and expectations, lost in a moment. But you can't lose something you don't have. Potential is worthless until it's spent. No matter how many stones I'd cross, trails I'd run, or hours spent preparing, I'd never get anywhere. I'd never be anything. It's the end of things that gives them value. What you make of them. What you do with them. You can study all you like, learn everything, get every tool, and master every skill. But until you put brush to paper, you'll never know what it means to paint. I wasn't like my father. He had nothing growing up as a poor farmer. First of our name to get a bachelor's and a master's. Merit stuck to him, and he earned more titles than I could name. He made his way to the top of the social ladder, paragon of the American dream, an icon admired by many. He could have made the world out of nothing. When I set out in life, I had every advantage. Born high, with every tool and resource. I was smart, capable, connected. And yet, I did so little. I've always liked when names fit, when there's a kind of story behind them. It's fitting how that stone devil twists against his binds in the earth. Defiance breaks no chains, but it liberates the soul in a way. Hell, it's just a stone. But everything here has names like that. All deities and devils. Not too far away, you'll find the Garden of the Gods. A peculiar rock formation someone must have thought was holy. The Utes have their stories, but stones are trivial in such an arid place. We see the world through our own eyes. To men who have everything, appearance seems valuable. There is an element of truth. The Utes believed that they were born here, at the base of Pikes Peak, which they called Tava, a personification of the sun, with a tinge of malevolence. Once he flooded the earth to kill the stone monsters. Pikes Peak was his gift to save the Utes, rising from the dirt. But it was Manitou Springs the Utes found most holy, in the water that comes from that mountain, named for that which gives all life. You know, people like to name their bikes after deities. Huh. Denver is the only home I'd ever known. Got its name as a ploy for money, patronizing the then governor of the territory of Kansas. To me, it was a place of abundance, built from wealth taken from the earth. You can see it in all of its iconography, in the buildings, the industries, the flags. At night, the city burns gold, an island of light against hundreds of miles of black abyss.
Looks like I'm up for a bit of rain.
Everything I had was afforded to me by my father, even the ability to defy him, to waste time and wander. The first thing he gave me was my name, just a bunch of Welsh words: hills, a valley, an island lake. A map leading nowhere. I didn't mind the idea of failure, of not making anything of this. It's a place I'd visited so many times before. I'd even come to presume it. Get your hand bit enough times, and you'll learn to pull it back. When you know how a story ends, it's already over. It's liberating when you believe things are doomed. You never have to depend on what you've built. It never has to matter, or face judgment. Again and again, I'd gone through these little pursuits, months and years of my life, into things I'd later abandon. I'd be sad a while, a few months, maybe a year. But in time, I'd find some new passion to distract me. It's nice to have a sense of direction, even if it goes nowhere. Did this all matter so little to me? So many things in life I'd fallen into. Never making a choice meant not caring as much. Choosing meant facing the consequences of that decision. Passivity offers freedom from guilt and responsibility. You don't have to feel. There's no heartbreak, no disappointment, no expectations. You never have to defend them or believe in them. Each of my father's gifts were bound in expectation, chains reinforcing the order of his world. I excelled here once, but life was so empty. Death was never a distance in time, but in choices. A career, a partner, a home, a family. Each one brought me closer. Choices realign the world, contextualizing each and everything. Declaring who you are says more about who you are not. And so the world gets smaller. Every road leads to some end. I refused, dawdled with what I'd been given. So my father rebuked me. To me, he was just some distant arbiter, watching my every act, rejecting them all. It's easy to be wrong when you know you can't be right. To have that constant. After years, he had a change of heart. He said it didn't matter who I chose to be, or what I did. I was his son. That's what mattered. And he wished he knew me. God, I hated that. You can see everything from a high enough tower. Watch the world as it moves. See every curve in the road, each of its challenges, and every time it forks. But you can never see yourself. There's always that blind spot. You can never know what it is to find yourself out there. How the road might change you. What it means to be changed. For 7 months, I got to play adventurer, tinker and toy safely in my backyard. I could no longer be so adolescent. Seeing this through meant real consequences. Caring about something means giving a bit of your heart to it, and it pulls you along wherever it goes. I remember the fire. 15 years and you can still taste the ash. It's all so empty now. Lifeless. Half this forest burned. 125 square miles. The largest on record. Just outside Denver. Smoke shrouded the city for weeks. It was never the flames that scared us. It was the rain. Burn the trees and the dirt slips away. Flooding is common here. Through these steep ravines runs the South Platte, from which 3/4 of the city gets its water, through massive aqueducts impractical to clear. In a 100-year drought, the constant aerial suppression left reservoirs at their lowest. How could she be so careless? She was a fireman. Did she forget that? Anyone else we might have accepted it as an accident, given only a mild punishment. No, for her it was 20 years, and to be known forever as a terrorist. Titles are earned things, deserved things. Like with the saying, noblesse oblige. For a man to call himself noble, he must act nobly. Being an adventurer meant something. Beyond the clothes, the skills, the bike. It was in the motions. A man in a high tower is powerless until the moment he moves. Up there, he might know everything, see every road all the way to its end, with nothing obscured or unexpected. But there, he's only an observer. He makes no choices. He's nothing. Maybe that was the devil's trap. Through his eyes, you see nothing but potential. All you could want out there in the distance. Every option in plain view. Going after one meant surrendering all the others. What he gave was a view of all I'd lose. But I guess you can't lose something you don't have. Still, there is no guarantee in the pursuit. What if I wasn't ready? What if there was still something missing? I'd give up these eyes and have nothing. There I was, at the end, my day of reckoning. I'd set my mind on the thought. If I could do the Noddle Head trail, Black Diamond, then I'd go. I'd already run through every blue and green trail. Over 1,000 miles, and I'd come to see this place differently. There was a kind of beauty to it now. Was it always there? Maybe it takes time to see. There's an inertia to who we are. A thoughtless path chosen by means of habit. We are perpetual things. Every action comes back again, reinforcing itself in repetition. The future echoes the past, and in motion we reveal ourselves. Training is never about the effort. No. What is effort to the morning runner, to the seasoned accountant? It's never hard to be who you are, to do what you're accustomed. You'll know the price of what you are, in pushing against your own inertia, in taking control of your actions, through that battle of will between the person you are and who you wish you were. If I ever knew penance, it's there. Each flaw, every sin, must be paid 1,000 times until you kill the part of you that made them.
Wait, did I accidentally turn onto the devil's slide? Because if so, God damn it! I am not turning around to find out. What the hell is this? There's no other trails in this area. This has to be the Noddle Heads.
Contrition is never empty. If you go in search of absolution, you best be willing to pay the price. It's easy to limp through life, cutting corners, wandering furtively, carelessly, ungrateful of what you have, undeserving of what the world gives you, to live without any semblance of character as a fragile removed thing, a costumed pretender. I knew what I was. I could see it, feel it. Every mistake, all those aspirations and regrets, the time wasted, unsaid words and unfelt things. That profound lack of caring. Immediate as the smell of ash in the air. It was me. Only me. The hardest thing to escape is yourself. There's a death in that surrender. In turning back, in knowing that you failed, of what you might be, of all those plans and anticipations. There you break. In that moment, all you are is here. I love my father. I admit it. He was never a bad man. He always meant well. I never wished him pain, or to let him down. He was always so far away, a thing I couldn't understand. But now, he seemed different. My bike was unlike anything he'd given me before. There was no expectation in it, no presumption, only hope that I would have a better life. She didn't have a name, so I gave her one, to say what she meant to me. She was my nemesis, like the goddess of inevitability, of liberation, the breaker of chains, she who takes men from high towers and shows them their place in the dirt.
What the hell? Which way did I come from? There's no connection on here. Huh.
She taught me the value of being wrong, and with her, I move.
There you are, Noddle Head!
In time, even my own name meant something, as I traveled through hills and valleys to a great highlit lake. My father was never one to smile, at least in the way that people do when they're happy. When I told him my plans and all the things I had done, my every worry and doubt, he voiced his concerns. But when I came back sincerely, and what it meant to me, he smiled with the perfect phrase. I trust you. Of all the words he could have said, I never expected those.
Damn it! Damn you ruts!